So here I put the study in Excel. So we're trying to find out the economic exposure for each of the three cases. For simplicity, let me just focus on case 1 first. All right. So in case 1, we have three different scenarios. They each come with a 33.33% probability. And in scenario 1, the value of the French assets measured in euro is 980. Okay, in the case 2, in scenario 2, the euro value is 1,000. In scenario 3, it's 1070. Okay, and the exchange rates in the three scenarios are 1.4, 1.5, and 1.6 respectively. Okay, so if we want to find out the economic exposure, so we're going to follow this estimation. Okay, so P is a dollar value. Very important, it's the dollar value, not euro value. It's dollar value of your cash flow. And S is the exchange rate. And beta is the coefficient. Okay, and economic exposure basically is this beta. So how do we do that? First of all, you're going to get the dollar value of the assets. Okay, so the only thing you need to do here is to multiply the euro value by the exchange rate. Okay, and use the format enter. Okay, that's the dollar value for each case. Okay, try to get the economic exposure. Basically, you just use the slope function of Excel. So y's would be the dollar values, and the x's would be the exchange rate. Okay, so 1700. So that is your economic exposure. Another way to get it is using calculator. Okay, so let me turn on the calculator here. It takes a while to start. Okay, just bear with me. So let me clear the whole thing. Okay, so what I do here is I'm going to hit the stat button, and then I'm going to edit. I'm going to put the exchange rates here, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. Okay, and in L2, I'm going to put the dollar value of the assets, and according to my calculation, it's 1372. 1372. The next one is 1500. The next one is 1712. All right, 1712. Okay, and then I hit the stat button again, and I move to the right and do calculate, and then I'm going to select option 8. Okay, select option 8. And in this option 8, the X values would be the exchange rates. Okay, wherever I put the exchange rates, I put it in L1. And so how do I get L1? It's a second number 1. So that's how I get number 1. And Y values would be the dollar value, so which I put in L2, so second 2. All right, and then I move down and then calculate. As you can see that y equals to a plus bx. Y is the dollar value of the assets, x is exchange rates, a is the constant term, b is the multiplier or the coefficients. So beta equals to 1700. So which is consistent with the result developed from Excel. All right, another way to do it is to use a chart. So basically, I'm going to select this 2-column of data, and then I go insert, and then I'm going to choose a scatter chart with markers and straight lines. All right, so basically this shows me 3 different exchange rates. Under each exchange rate, I have a dollar value of the assets. So one is at 1.4 with a dollar value of 1372. Another exchange rate is 1.5. The dollar value is 1500. That's the third point is having an exchange rate of 1.6 and a dollar value of 1712. All right, so I can do a quick layout and some titles right here. Let's see, dollar value of the assets, and horizontal axis would be euro exchange rate. Let's say euro rate. All right. And you can find this 1700 economic exposure or the slope of the curve simply by adding a twin line. Okay, adding a twin line. Okay, so you're gonna add a linear twin line, and right here, that's important. Display equation on chart. Okay, and that equation is going to show you A and beta. All right, so basically that's it. Here, the twin line is represented by this blue dashed line. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can see it. And the equation of the blue line, which is the best fit model, that's the regression line, gives the equation of y equals to negative 1022 plus 1700 times x. So this 1700 is your multiplier, and once again, that's your economic exposure. So how do we explain this number of 1700 generated from 3 different methods? So basically 1700 means if the exchange rate of euro increase by 1 cent, okay? So let's say from a 1.40 to 1.41. If, let me put on the paper, if the euro rate increases by 0.01 cents, okay? So that's a reasonable basic unit. Then the dollar value of the assets would increase by, it's going to be 1700 times 0.01, which would be $70. Okay, it would increase by $70. Okay, so that's how you put a line for explanation of the economic exposure. I can do the same thing. Okay, I can do the same thing for the other 2 cases. So once again, you're gonna get the dollar value of the assets. Okay, so you multiply the euro value and by the exchange rate. Okay, so right here, and I'm going to change this format by using format painter. Okay. All right. So to get the exposure for the first case, for the second case, I still use the slope function, slope, then the dollar values here, okay, then the exchange rates here, so I got 0, and 0 is supposed to be the right answer. Okay, as you can see that no matter how exchange rates fluctuate, the dollar value of the assets is always 1400, so basically there's no risk at all. This dollar value is not affected by the exchange rates at all, so that's why you have a 0 economic exposure. Do you see that? So no matter in what scenario, the dollar value is a constant, it's the same, regardless of the exchange rate. Okay, then exposure of case 2, case 3 this time, well, use the same function, slope, dollar value here, and then the exchange rates here. Okay, so that's 1,000. Okay. So after we got the value for economic exposure, okay, how are we going to do with it? Well, right here, what you see is how you can use the mathematical formula to solve for beta. Okay, it's gonna be a long procedure. It's gonna take a lot of time, and you still get a 1700. But I do not recommend you doing this whole thing. So just to use Excel, use one slope function, and that's it. Okay, that solves everything. So I was saying that after you get the number 1700, so that is the number we use to sell forward. Okay, that's how we control the risk. So based on the number in case 1, based on this number 1700 for case 1, we develop our hedging strategy. So our hedging strategy is to sell 1,700 euro forwards. Okay. So that's the strategy. So why am I doing that? You see that you are an American firm, okay, and you are about to liquidate the French assets, and after the liquidation, you will receive certain euros, right? So you are going to receive euros in the future, and after you receive the euro, you will need to sell the euros for dollars. You will need to convert euros for dollars so you can pay your employees and pay your investors in the United States. Okay, so you will need to sell euros, and the way to sell euros is to sign a forward contract today, and in that contract you sell euros. Okay, and how much euros do you sell in the forward contract is based on this economic exposure we just computed, 1,700. So you are going to sell 1,700 euro forward. All right.